What's up, everybody? I'm Smith Sly. I'm the host of Slice of Seattle on KUGR Cougar College Radio. A bit of bad news. We are not going to be able to do an episode today. Usually we do it about 12 o'clock. I know it's been a couple weeks since we've been able to do an episode. We weren't able to do one a couple weeks ago because we were just a little too busy to get anything recorded. Last week we weren't able to do it because the power was out at the studio, and the power is also out again this week at the studio, which is really frustrating. We got there and realized that nothing's hooked up, and we can't record right now. So it's just bad string of bad luck. Unfortunate, because I was really hoping to be able to do an episode because a lot of stuff has happened in the sports world for baseball, football, and hockey. So it's kind of like the worst time for us to not have anything going on. But I thought, might as well just hop on real quick, do a little quick recording, and just talk about some of the things we would have talked about on the show. I mean, just for the Mariners, we're going to talk about the fact that the lineup for opening day that they basically projected the Mariners looks exactly the same as the lineup for like some of the last games of the 2024 season. So if you want to tell me that we had a horrible offseason without telling me we had a horrible offseason. You just show me that roster because we basically added nothing. Um, Major thing too is Jorge Polanco is back at the beginning of the offseason. It seemed like we weren't going to extend him at all, and then we did. We brought him back on back in like late January, I think was when we announced that. Um, I'm expecting him to have a better year in 2025 because his knee's probably going to be a little bit healthier than it was for 2024. So hopefully he can actually be a little bit more productive, and I think we'll probably might have him at second base again. Depends, but I'm hoping that him having a healthier knee will help him hit a little bit better, and he actually might be able to produce for us. Spring training is right around the corner. I can't express to you how much I love spring training. I think spring training is awesome. I think it's one of the coolest things that baseball does. It's super fun to watch on TV. It's good to see a lot of those guys who don't get reps in the regular season to see them play and everything. So you can see what the future of Mariners baseball is looking like, and I love it. So spring training is just super special for me, especially like it would be like it's right around the time when you're starting up for high school baseball too. So it's just that whole feeling of baseball is starting, and it's just one of the coolest feelings in the world. And then for the episode today, I was gonna have each of us do like a thing where we would say like who are like our 3 or 4 players we're expecting to have breakout years in 2025 for the Mariners, and so I'll share mine. I was gonna put Jorge Polanco. And again, like him having his knee healthy is probably gonna have a better year than he did last year. So I would expect him to have just be hitting better. His fielding was fine. I never have a problem with that. It's just hitting. Literally, that's the only problem the Mariners have right now is hitting. So I think he's gonna have a better hitting year in 2025. I feel pretty confident about that. Next guy I'm gonna put on there is Luke Raley. I think he had a pretty breakout year in 2024. And I think it's just the beginning. I think he's going to continue to develop and continue to grow and continue to turn into a quality player for the Mariners. I think, do I think he's going to be a superstar? I'm not that optimistic about him, but I think he's also going to have a pretty good year in 2025, maybe even a little bit better than he had in 2024. But I would 100% put him up there as one of the guys I'm expecting to have a pretty breakout, decent year in 2025. Third guy I'm going to put on here is Julio. Because look, he had a bit of a sophomore slump last year. Not the best year for him. But what's crazy to me is that it wasn't the best year for him, and he still had a 2020 season. Granted, he picked it up, within what there was like 10, 15 games left in the season. So that's pretty late in the year to finally be getting to 2020 for someone who's supposed to be a superstar. Just saying. But that was also the third straight 2020 season, I think, for him. Um, so I think that that was a down year for him last year, 2024. I think 2025 is going to be a year where Julio, we see him get back to prime Julio, where we start to see the talent that he's capable of playing as. And then the fourth guy I have is Ryan Bliss. I think Ryan Bliss came in, played a couple games last year, was underwhelming, but I think he's one of the better prospects we have, and I think that he will 100% have breakout year in 2025. Like I think that's a given that he's going to come in next year. He's going to have a little bit more experience under his belt. He's going to get in. He's going to get some more reps, and he's going to start to develop into a better baseball player. That's my hope, and I feel pretty confident about that. But then moving on, let's talk about the Kraken real quick. So the Four Nations face-off is happening right now. The United States actually playing against Canada tonight, which should be a pretty fun game. That's just two stacked teams playing against each other with some of the craziest lineups in all of hockey. So it's just that's a lot of fun. I'm really glad they're starting to do that now, and so that game tonight should be pretty fun. But no, the Kraken heading into the Four Nations face-off break are looking awful. Just absolutely abysmal. Our win percentage is well below 500. We're in seventh place in the division right now. I think the Sharks are the only team beneath us, that's in pretty poor company. The fact that the Anaheim Ducks, I think, are better than us right now. So I mean, I don't know how exactly you fall that far, but that's just super super frustrating. Playoffs are definitely not a reality for us this year, which sucks because the start of this year I had some high hopes for us that we were going to be making playoffs because that seems. I mean, with the changes we were making in the off season, what we were doing, that's what it seemed like we were on the trajectory to hit. We were going to make playoffs again. Um, after missing out on it the year before, and so, but it looks like it's going to be a little bit more of the same this year. Not going to be making it. The three names that I'm pointing to as the guys who I think should have produced more this year and just didn't were Burakovsky, Brandon Tanev, and Yanni Gourde. Those three guys are the guys who severely underwhelmed me. I think, and a lot of Kraken fans, I think, to be honest. So if you're asking me who are the three guys I would want to trade, I would have to go Burakovsky, Brandon Tanev, and Yanni Gourde because they're not producing. They're for what they're being paid, and it's just really hurting this team because it's not putting us in the position where we can win games. Um, it's incredibly frustrating. The other thing too, I want to round back to the Four Nations face-off is Capo Caco for the Kraken was selected. He's going to the Four Nations face-off. I was super pumped about that. He's gonna be playing. Going to be playing for Finland. He was a scratch in the USA Finland game, which I was really frustrating because it's the one guy we had going in the Four Nations face-off basically was deemed to be not good enough for that game against the United States, which is kind of insulting. But he is going to be playing in tonight's game against Sweden, so I'll be also want to watch that one. I want to see my boy Capo Caco play. Well, the Kraken representation. Pretty excited for it. Um, and the other one thing I want to touch on with the Kraken is that there are rumors that teams in the NHL are asking the Kraken about trade deals with Jared McCann. And apparently, the Kraken are not interested in trading Jared McCann, which makes me so very happy because I really don't want us to trade Jared McCann. He's our points leader. He's been our points leader for every single year the Kraken have existed. He's arguably the superstar on our team. He's always picking up assists, picking up goals, and I think I think he's one of the most underrated players in the entire NHL. So I think getting rid of him would be a huge mistake. Trading, I don't care who you trade him for, just getting rid of him in general would be awful. He's going to be a Seattle legend. I think we can hold on to him. We got build a good team around him so that we can make playoffs consistently. So he wants to stay here. So I'm really glad that we're not considering trading him because that trading him would be a huge mistake. And the last thing I want to touch on with the Kraken is the fact that Jordan Eberle is right now he's playing with the Coachella Firebirds on a conditioning assignment. Basically, he's just trying to get healthy again, which is perfect. It means he's close. We're close to having Jordan Eberle back. It's funny to me that we had a pretty decent start to the season, and then right around the time Jordan Eberle got in, he had to have his groin surgery. We completely fell off, and that's just a testament to the fact that when you don't have veteran leadership, you can feel it in the team and the way they play and the fact that they lose a lot of games. So getting Jordan Eberle healthy again, hopefully we'll be able to see him in the coming weeks or after the Four Nations face-off break. If we can get him back playing again, would be perfect because we need that veteran leadership on the squad, and not having it is just really, really bad. So, I'm holding out hope. I really hope we can get him healthy in time to actually play for us. But we'll see. So yeah, that pretty much does it. That's all we really got for the Mariners and Kraken and the NFL. Seahawks in the offseason. They've got a lot more time to do some stuff in the offseason, and we'll talk about that probably later. But yeah, this is a quick little recap of what we were probably going to start to talk about. Obviously, just me by myself. I was going to have the other Connors come on the show as well, and that would have been perfect. But no full episode today, so we're just going to do a quick like little 10-minute snip right here. So that about does it. Thank you all so much for listening. Hopefully I'll be able to do an episode next week on Saturday. That's the goal. So please stay tuned, and I'll keep it updated if we will have that episode going. But yeah, that's gonna do it. Thank you all so much for listening. Remember, it is a great day to have a great day, and go Cougs.